Well, it's a learning experience for me. It's going to make me a better coach for next year's team. Some of the stuff that went on that won't go on next year, the holding the bar to a higher standard, not accepting we'll have enough guys, the bench is going to be my best friend, all those kind of things that'll come back into play. And you start to figure out why had my teams been so good for so long, and can we now get this stuff going? Can we turn this? This is about when we did it 2 years ago. But those guys made an effort to listen, to say we're going to do what we're asked to do. We're going to play at another level. We're going to take it up a notch. We're going to really fight like heck and play to win. This group can do that same thing, but we'll see.
Willie just said, he's afraid to say they have turned the corner because it seems so many times like they've done it and then fallen back.
And I think there's some guys in there Willie doesn't trust. That they, when they don't feel like playing, they don't play. So, and we have a little bit of that. Again, if you had a bench where you could just sit guys, that guy wouldn't play. Just sit him. But you know what? This team has gone and done a lot of good stuff. At the end of the day, you look back with all that's happened to this team, to be where we are, second place, have the most wins against the top 6 teams. Us in Florida. What? What just happened? And looking at guys playing, we're just hanging around. And that's what we want to do. So, the other side of it is with what we were and where we were, and it's pretty good stuff.
Cal, what have you learned about
come of age this year? I mean, what things have you seen in that process?
They still fight how they have to play. At some point you got to just, as a player, say, my stuff's not working and I'm dropping like a rock, so tell me what you exactly want me to do. That's hard. That's an experience. You just keep fighting. You keep dying, just keep doing it. And so that has been an experience for these guys that, haven't been coached, haven't been called out, haven't been told you're wrong, where they never had it before. You're not working hard enough, you can do this. This is the best I got. No, it isn't. You have more in there. It's the best I got, and if we lose the game, we lose the game. I'm not giving anything more. Getting through all that kind of stuff, and we're still young. I mean, you could have this team and next year's group on the same team. Now all of a sudden your bench is your best friend. Practices are at a level that are ridiculous. And my hope is as we wind this down, we go to this tournament and next tournament, that these guys just say, okay, enough's enough, and they hold each other accountable and they get each other to do what they need to do because this team's good enough. This team I still believe in this team. This team could do whatever they want. But you can't say, well, I want to do that, but I don't want to do this to get to that. You can't, it doesn't work that way.
Cal, what have you learned about you this season through all this?
That I thought I was too old to go through what I just went through, and I guess I'm not. Some guys were struggling. I said, I'm too old to go through that. And you know what? The one thing I got to say about this staff, no one quit on this team. No one quit on individual players. We kept trying to figure out ways to how do we get this turned? How do we get them to figure it out? Because at any point, I've been doing this long enough, it doesn't matter if 2 years ago, Connecticut won the national title. They were 9-9 in their league. They were like an 11 seed in their tournament. And then they figured it out, and guys started fighting, and everybody started playing. Well, you can do this. This is one of those years. But, you have to want to do it, and that has to be the most important thing to you. Not how you're playing, how we're playing. And that's part of what we're fighting to break through with this team. That's why I put out the post. I didn't put out the post in response to anything else. I wanted my team to read what it means to be players first. That was what that was about. I'm sitting there thinking of stuff, and I said, I'm going to tell the team and I'll tell everybody. So everybody understands what we're trying to get to. And, this team it's learning, still wants to fight, things and doesn't want to go the whole Monty, but they're getting closer. Yesterday's practice was good, one of our better practices. I'm anxious to see how we do today.
That UConn team, Kemba carried them. Do you have a Kemba Walker on this team?
Maybe it's Willie. Maybe Willie becomes the most dominating big guy in college basketball, makes a difference in every game, and everybody else just does what they're supposed to do.
Saturday was a light bulb game for him, where he may have realized just how important he is to what you all are trying to
I think the staff
be?
told him that every time you came out, you saw what happened. I had to play with you 4 fouls with 11 minutes to go. Why'd you play your guy with 4 fouls? We wanted to win. Didn't want to lose. So I put him back in so we could win the game. And then if he fouled out, I would figure out what to do to try to win the game. Well, you should have let him out with till 4 minutes to go and been down 18 and then put him back. Good move. Not bad. Not bad. It entered my mind to do that. Not long, but it entered my mind. I mean, it was like, the question was almost like, what question is that? Were you not watching the game? But
Willie said him making the all-conference freshman team and the other guys making it was kind of reassuring that, we are good basketball players.
But they're being questioned across the country now. PTI says you have no point guard. Kid can't play. Says the recruiting were mistakes. I've had people, I won't tell you who they were, but they said those kids aren't good enough. So all of a sudden you look at Alex and Archie and they say you're not good enough. That's what happens when your team struggles. When your team does really good, you don't even have to take the most shots. You could be the 1 and 2 pick. I've been trying to explain that all year, but I'm going to, my own niche. I'm going to carve out my own niche. What happens is you start dropping like rocks. So we have something to prove, believe me. Individuals, as a team, we have a lot to prove. I keep telling them, let's worry about us. Let's just play at our best and see what that means.
John, the Alex we saw Saturday, how close is that to what he can do?
He's okay. He's still got a ways to go to be what he's capable of being.
What'd you think of Kyle, 6th man of the year?
Happy for him. They didn't take the voting in the last week, I could tell you, last 10 days. But I'm happy for him. And maybe that inspires him to step up his play again.
How about Nerlens, John? What is surgery? Did it go fine? Where's all that?
It went today. We haven't talked to him. But we'll be getting updates. We'll put them on CoachCal.com.
Cal, do you have any regrets, even though you didn't have a bench, not using it, even though you didn't have one? You guys wasn't-
I like winning more. And so I'm going to do everything and try to get the team across the finish line. It's just, what happens is it's, as a coach, you're doing everything that in your heart of hearts, in your bones, you normally wouldn't do or wouldn't accept or wouldn't even consider to try to get your team across the finish line. Knowing at the end of the season, time to regroup, going back to how we do things.
You're not used to compromising.
No, it was very hard. I had bloody lips going home, biting my lip many, many nights. My wife, did you get in a fist fight? No, I bit my lip for 25 minutes straight. So, and again, this team, they can turn this on if they choose to. We were in practice yesterday, guys going so hard, What does this prove to you? Oh, they can do it. If they choose to do this, they just choose not to do it. Then by not choosing to do it, they don't understand that's selfish. I don't shoot all the balls. It's not what selfish is. Giving less than your best effort to cover for your teammate, that is selfish. You're a selfish player. That's what, again, when you're dealing with 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, they don't even know this stuff. And the teams I've had in the past, you can win with young kids. You have to have a few veterans that can tell them what to do, and you got to have enough guys so you can sit guys on the bench. And this team has that. I'll tell you who's been playing well, John Hood. Jared Polson giving everything he can. I'm comfortable going with John Hood. I may even play John Hood at foursome. So he's been playing well. But again, we still, the great thing, we got a lot to prove. What do you want to be? How you want to do it? You're going to do this together. We got a lot to prove. And we're going up into an environment that's going to be, a great testing ground for us. Here we go. Let's see what we've done. Last question.
How much does it help being a 2 seed in that, as opposed to playing maybe 4 games or 5 games?
Well, that would have been tough. But, obviously in any tournament you're in, the higher your seed, the better your chances of winning the tournament. It's just how it is. Doesn't mean we're going to win it. Doesn't mean you get to the finals. There are upsets every year in every tournament. But the percentages are in your favor if you're a higher seed. It's just how It's like the other tournament, I tell you all the time, the seed matters. When they act like, well, you're in, don't worry about it, it matters. The higher the seed, the higher your chances of winning. It's just how it is. So teams right now, some teams are fighting for the higher seeds. Their coaches are right. Coaches get mad if they don't get the right seed, if they're down a level or two. They're right to be mad because it affects what their team can do. Thanks.